Hello, Wrestleheads. I'm Chuck Jones.
I'm Mark Scott.
We've been away for a little while, but the Wrestlehead show is back and we're in full effect. Our partner Randy's going to be doing some production for us here, and we'll let you know what's going on with the show in the future. But we're back and we're going to start the wheels turning again. Now, the name of the game is professional wrestling.
Wrestling.
Nothing's changed. We had a good pay-per-view tonight from the WWE, a lot of twists and turns, and we have to get right back on task with what's going on so that we can anticipate what's going on in the future. So with that being said, the Night of Champions, you saw a lot of things happen tonight. Every belt was on the line, and we had some belts change hands. We also had some belts stay home. Some future matches were made. We already got one of our main events, possibly two of our main events, for the next upcoming WWE pay-per-view in Hell in a Cell. So with that said, we're just going to go right into it. Pre-show started off, Cosmic Wasteland, Cody Rhodes and the Ascension versus the Lucha Dragons and Neville. Pretty much 10 minutes of good wrestling. They went ahead and gave the bout to Cosmic Wasteland. Cody Rhodes went over.
Yeah.
He was the one who took the pin.
Yeah.
And if anybody needed a pin at this point in the career, it's Cody Rhodes.
I feel they're giving him a push. I mean, it's not the push that we want. I mean, we all discussed this before. I mean, I believe, the Stardust character, it's homage to his daddy and whatnot, but, a lot of us are in the same agreement for him to push to make it to that elite level. He's got to go back to dashing. He's got to go back, smoke and mirrors or whatever the fuck. You know what I mean? Because that's the only way he's going to get that upper echelon up in that ladder. I mean, Stardust gimmick is only going to get so far. But in the end, he got the pin. We were discussing during the match, maybe he's getting pushed, but maybe it's not in the push, like I said, we like. Maybe it's slow. It's a slow push because they have so many things going right now. And if they don't want to push him too fast, then you fuck him up and he gets, caught up in the mix of not being pushed at all. You know what I mean? So any win, like you said, for Cody Rhodes is big time. So I congrats to Cody Rhodes getting the pin in the Ascension. The Ascension. Now, our buddy Randy had said before he thought they was basically led to fail.
They were sandbagged.
Sandbagged.
By Vincent Kennedy McMahon.
And that could be true because what happened in the beginning with them coming up to the main roster was nothing short of despicable. But now, they look like a decent tag team. You know what I mean?
They're definitely coming around, and I want to say congratulations to Cody Rhodes as well on getting the pin. Whether he's being pushed or not, we're just going to have to let time tell it for us.
But they better hurry up or he'll leave.
Yeah, I mean, the Cosmic Stardust character is it's interesting. It's it's a unique concept. I don't like it, but if it's getting over for him, and as we've seen before in the past, Cody Rhodes is one of those guys. He has the ability to take any kind of genre or character you give him, and he'll do his best with it and make it successful. So with that being said, that's how the pre-show went down. Then we go ahead and start with the main card itself. First match out the gate, Intercontinental Heavyweight Championship, defending champion Ryback versus Kevin Owens. It was everything you thought it would be. Kevin Owens went out, wrestled a great match. Ryback kept up with him as best he could. At the end of the match, you had a new champion. Kevin Owens is now the new Intercontinental Heavyweight Champion. Well deserved. He's a seasoned veteran, and he's getting his just due. The push came at the right time, and now you really have a chance, folks, to see a legitimate Intercontinental Heavyweight Champion, someone that in the future will be bred for the main event.
Yeah, because honestly, back when, how it should be, the Intercontinental Champion should be the number one contender.
It's always the heir to the throne. It's like your job interview.
Yeah.
Can you hold this feud? Can you hold this title? Can you bring prestige to it? Because if you can, then we know we'll feel good about you taking it to the next level.
And Ryback certainly was not going to get that next shot. Because, let's be honest, they saying he was one of the greatest Intercontinental. Man, get out of here. That was horseshit. Real was. My thing is this. The right man went over. Ryback actually looked good in the match, but it wasn't for him. That was because Kevin Owens made him look good. Ryback can't call a match. Kevin Owens called that whole match. The whole match actually looked decent because Kevin Owens called it. Ryback followed directions well, but in the end, he lost.
And you know, Ryback had a bit of a unique path leading up to this match. I mean, just to do a little background here, folks. You know, Ryback actually, his push went backwards. He was main eventing at first, with John Cena, and then they brought him back down to the mid-card level, where he
too much, too fast.
He's trash.
It's not so much.
I'll help you out. He's trash.
It's not so much that it's too much, too fast, in my opinion. I just feel like Ryback did the best he could with the championship, and it just wasn't enough. You know,
He did the best he could.
he did the best he could out there. Now I'm not saying it's good enough, but I think
Excuse me, I have a statement.
I think what we got from Ryback, hold on out there, folks. What we got from Ryback is possibly the best work he could do, and his best just simply isn't good enough to go to the next level.
You know what I think? Ryback's a Titanic bitch. I'm sorry.
Hard words from a hard man. So moving on. Excuse me. Yes,
Yes. I just wanted to comment about the Ryback situation.
please let us know your
Okay, first off, praise God, thank you. Somebody came to their senses and took that title off of him. I just wanted to say that. And secondly, he has to go down as probably one of the worst Intercontinental champions of all time.
Just like the Honky Tonk Man.
Whoa, okay,
I'm sorry.
I'm not stepping in that one.
I'm sorry.
But what I'm trying to say is this. Randy said something about Daniel Bryan being horrible, and even Randy had to retract his statement. Daniel Bryan's title run and him being injured was better than Ryback's title run, and then him coming back and looking like pure stir-fry shit. Because, let's just be honest, because Ryback's a fake strong man. I mean, we seen a pay-per-view of smaller guys than him outlifting him, doing better power moves, and he damn near killed Kevin Owens when he was throwing him to the outside. I mean, that has to be put in notice. And if I was Kevin Owens, I would have popped him in the mouth.
Well, those are very strong thoughts, and we respect your comments on the show.
True
and
thoughts.
Folks, just so you know, we are a very interactive show, and you can always leave posts and comments if you're a member of our page, WrestleHeads on Facebook. One of us will always get back to you on our thoughts about these things.
In a timely manner.
The Ryback subject is definitely up for discussion. Now, we all know by the way of the rules that the WWE does things, we know that Ryback will be eligible for a rematch.
Yeah.
But, again, in the rematch, it has to be Kevin Owens definitively going over Ryback, and then, maybe they can figure out something else for him. But Kevin Owens, this is his time. Intercontinental Championship, it's time to bring some prestige back to it. Whatever Ryback was trying to get to, we know Kevin Owens can get to it.
Okay, yeah, you're right.
So with that being said, we're going to go ahead and move on. Second match on the card was not a title match, but it was a bit of a personal grudge match. Dolph Ziggler wrestling against Rusev. A lot of questions in the air as to where Rusev's manager Summer Rae stood. As far as Dolph Ziggler and Rusev. Unfortunately, Summer Rae was the cause of Rusev losing this match. It seems to me, Amar, that gentleman just has a hard time with women.
Hard time is that's loosely putting it, because that brother got problems. You know what I mean? You say where Summer Rae's Legion's hell, straight in line with the Gold Diggers.
It's definitely mixed emotions, because you can tell by the way WWE was operating their storyline with this feud is that, it makes it look like Dolph Ziggler's taking away every woman that Rusev gets.
Just playboying them.
Yeah, not only that, but he's beating them in the ring also. So it's a tough day for Rusev at the office.
God just can't win.
That's just number one.
Girl.
So I figure we should anticipate this week or possibly next week on Monday Night Raw as they further the story.
I wouldn't be surprised if Dolph Ziggler went to Rusev's house and took his dog, because it sounds like an old school country song. He didn't took his broads, and next thing you know, he's beat his ass. He took his broads, 2 of them. Next thing you know, it's to steal the dog
Or the truck,
or you know what I mean. Can't steal the Chevy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Sound like a damn country song.
So nonetheless, Ziggler went over in the match, and Rusev, I don't know what's next for him, folks, but we're definitely going to find out. We'll see which way they want to twist and turn this story, but it's not looking good for Rusev at all right now, wrestling-wise, being push-wise, and all of the above.
Yeah.
So we'll definitely keep an eye on that. Moving on in the card was the Tag Team Championship match on the line. The New Day defending the championships against the Dudley Boys, and the Dudley Boys picked up the victory. However, it was due to a disqualification interference by Xavier Woods. Now, the one thing to point out in this match that I saw was, Big E was working his ass off in that match, wasn't he?
Big E brought it tonight. He was out of that tag team match, even though the Dudley Boys, Devon
looked great.
Devon looked great. He working for that check. He needs some more paychecks.
In the words of our partner Randy, Devon do anything for a paycheck.
Yeah, for real. He was doing it tonight.
He was doing it tonight.
But I'm telling you, Big E stood out. He showed in and he showed out. You know what I mean? And the New Day is fucking entertaining, dude. I mean, I'm sorry, I can't get enough of the fucking New Day. I mean, I'm glad that the WWE have saw the potential to put these guys together and let them do them. You know what I mean? The New Day. I mean, I've been critical of the primetime players holding the titles on this show before, and let me tell you something, folks. I'm not. It's nothing against the primetime players. I actually like them, but you see the difference between when the New Day holds the title and when the primetime players have the title. That's enough said. You know what I mean? New Day, fucking New Day. And Big E, when this breaks up, it looks like he's getting a bit massive push because Big E can do it all.
And not only that, but they're very interactive. I mean,
Yes.
They're very interactive with the crowd. They're very interactive with the folks they're wrestling with. I mean, now they don't put a microphone on the trombone for Xavier Woods. And not only are you going to be entertaining the match, but you're going to get a good laugh.
Question from the crowd.
What do you got, young man?
New Day sucks.
Damn.
And Devon took the clothesline on Big E Langston, and it was a good suplex by Devon, and Big E was building.
And you got a very good point there. No one's questioning the cachet that the Dudley Boys bring to the ring. They're terrific wrestlers. They're definitely top 3 tag team of all time.
Yeah.
And even
especially with all the title rings.
and even at their advanced age, the Dudley Boys still can go out there and get it done. I mean, the way Devon was hitting those spots, I was like, wow.
99, 2000, all over again.
Yeah, so I mean, you can tell that they're probably going to have one more match, but I thought that it was very important for the WWE tonight to really stress that the Dudley Boys are here to help enhance talents like the New Day. They did that. They did their job. They look strong still doing it. They finished the match off by doing their trademark, Dudley Death Drop onto a table.
Yeah.
But the New Day kept the championships. Big E pushed them around.
Yeah.
They went over well.
And just one more added on this match. Just have to say, Xavier Woods looked like a fucking version of Knuckles from Sonic the Hedgehog. Just saying. Who told you that hairdo was cool? I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Just saying, brother. Just saying.
Hopefully it was just a one-time thing.
See, now they got them doing what they want to do. But what was the best part to me, is being a fan sitting there watching it, was the stiffness between Bubba Ray and Big E.
There's definitely some heat there, chemistry.
I mean, they were just going after each other. And I think Bubba seeing damn, this kid's powerful. And Big E showed him I'm not gonna take no shit off your old ass. And I just like how he was getting in his face. Talking about, take your old ass out of here. That was great.
But you know what? Big E does like the snow bunnies. So maybe he pushed up on Velvet Sky. I don't know. You know what I mean? Hey, we don't know. He probably pushed up on her in the back. You know what I'm saying? We wanted to make her Team New Day. And,
He probably wanted to give her the big ending.
Yeah. She probably caught it. I'm just saying, that's neither here or there. But that could have happened.
Hey, that's neither here nor there. We don't know if one day Bubba Ray is going to be saying, please just don't hurt her.
God.
We don't know.
And that's a Chris Candido reference.
Yes, we don't know if it's going to be one of those situations, folks. But however, if the news breaks, we'll have it here
for you.
Ain't gonna never let that story go.
So with that being said,
That shit was hard. How do your girl get bounced by two dudes in the same night while you sitting up here waiting for her to bring back the product? You know what I mean? You idiot.
No girl, no dope, no hope. No life.
Candido, R.I.P.
No career.
Yeah, I mean,
She got straight to sweet chin music and the Pearl
I
River
mean,
plunge.
at the end of the day, you had to sum that man up through the Rodney Dangerfield route of no respect.
no respect.
And he quit after that.
Yeah,
So, R.I.P. man. Moving on, back to our Night of Champions, the premier show today. We had the Big Divas matchup, which is basically a rematch from Monday Night Raw.
Yeah.
Charlotte, Flair, challenging Nikki Bella for the Divas Championship. Nikki Bella, the newly crowned longest running Divas Champion after her victory on Monday.
That was.
That match was a little something weird for me. However, it was traditional wrestling. The champion beat the living crap out of the challenger all the way through the entire match. Nikki gave her everything she could. She was stiff. She worked her leg the entire match. And then Charlotte, traditionally gaining the heat, building it up, getting the story, getting the crowd, everyone back on her side for the dramatic win in the end.
Yeah, my thing is this. We give Nikki Bella and Brie Bella a lot of shit, deservedly so. I mean, there's a lot of more talented females in the division in WWE above them, and they're the ones getting the shine. But Nikki brought it tonight. I gotta say, she carried her weight. She did classic wrestling. I mean, I guess John Cena got in her ear. She worked on one specific body part and worked on it through the whole match. She didn't forget what limb she was messing with. She stayed on that leg. She didn't go to the other leg. It was good. It was good, man. It really was. I mean, I thought this was Nikki's best performance, say in the last 6-7 months to a year. You know what I mean? But Charlotte, woo!
Definitely a good way to handle
Comes
the title.
the Divas Champion. And it's about damn time, because like Randy said when we was watching the show, they held her back for months. She should have been up on the main roster, probably at Mania. But she played her time down at NXT. She was a loyal soldier, and now she's getting rewarded for it.
Yeah,
kudos to you.
And they had a touching moment in the ring. Ric Flair came out.
Too much kissing though.
Yeah, they really kind of drove that into the ground a little bit, where you wanted to feel good about it, but at the same time you're like, that's enough.
That's just overkill. Hey, here's a spoiler. Wrestling heads, watch out for the heel turn for Paige. It looked like she was a little uncomfortable and just a little bit jealous with Charlotte winning the match. If you watched it, go watch it again and pay attention to Paige's movements, Paige's her whole her body, just the way she's looking. You know what I mean? Just pay attention to all that. Maybe a heel turn coming.
The bottom line is, Paige was in all black tonight, and she could seem any less interested in Charlotte's accomplishments tonight. So I also agree, by way of jealousy, that the feud will start between those two. PCP or PCB or
PCB, it ain't PCP.
They
St. Sherman.
Yeah, I keep forgetting.
Ain't that water?
I keep forgetting it's not the water.
Ain't that water? Ain't that boogie?
Definitely, folks, be on the lookout for that, because that's probably going to develop here quite quickly. I can see Nikki Bella next month. Getting her rematch at Hell in a Cell, and I can see Charlotte going over again, and then that's when Paige will hit her with it. So it's very possible that within a month's time, PCB will be broken up. Paige will now become an enemy of Charlotte Flair's, and we will see what they have in the future. One more notable thing before we move on to the next match. Nikki Bella had a couple of significant nip slips tonight.
Woo!
That right tit was out.
It was coming. It wanted to stay out.
Yeah, and if it wasn't for Brie Bella telling her, tuck that in, which thanks Brie for fucking it up for everybody, okay? So anyway, be on the lookout for that. Moving on in the show, we had another great non-title grudge match, 6-man tag team encounter with the Wyatt family versus Roman Reigns, Dean Ambrose, and a mystery partner that ended up being Y2J Chris Jericho.
Ayatollah of rock and roller.
Right. Now, significantly so, Chris Jericho was not only the mystery partner, but Chris Jericho was also the reason why Roman Reigns and Dean Ambrose lost the contest, committing a blind tag late in the match. inserting himself in against the big man of the Wyatt family. His
Braun
name leaves
The
me.
Black Sheep.
Braun
Braun
Strowman.
Strowman.
There you
Braun
go.
Strowman.
Inserting himself in and trying to pick up the 1, 2, 3. It didn't work out. He lost. And then on the way out, you have the whole what happened fella, and Jericho bumps into Dean Ambrose pretty tough and exits the ring. So obviously tomorrow night that will be spoken about, and you never know, that could also be another match leading into next month's pay-per-view.
Well, it looks like it's going to be either Ambrose or Reigns against Jericho, and it looks like it may be Ambrose because the whole bump. Because you got to remember, Ambrose. If you paid attention to Raw and SmackDown last week on Raw, Reigns had made the comment that Ambrose made the call to Chris Jericho, and it was a good call. Basically, he didn't tell it was Jericho. He was like, Ambrose made the call. So that looks like it may be going into Ambrose, Jericho, because Chris Jericho was out of line, even though, like I said, he's fucking Chris Jericho, but he was out of line. Roman Reigns had the match.
He was cooking. He was getting ready to finish it.
He was getting ready to finish the Black Sheep or the ex Rosebud or whatever the fuck. He was about to finish him.
He gave the big man 2 repetitive Superman punches, and then he hit him with that spear, and I just knew that was it.
It was it.
And that kid took a good spear.
He sure did.
Braun Strowman, he wrestled. I can't say nothing
He
about
showed up and showed out.
All the participants showed up tonight, though.
It was a damn good pay-per-view.
Everyone wrestled out of their mind.
It was a damn good pay-per-view.
But the Wyatt family will take the victory.
Oh yeah, they needed that victory. I mean, Reigns on the roll so far, just like two months in a row.
So with that being said, now the night gets a little tricky. We're gonna move into the double main event of the night, which is 2 main events, 1 champion defending against 2 separate opponents. First matchup, United States Heavyweight Championship. Reigning champ Seth Rollins, who is also the WWE World Heavyweight Champion, defends against John Cena. They put on another great show. Rollins wrestled out of his mind, but they gave John Cena the victory, and not only did they give John Cena the victory, but they booked it to John Cena again, making himself look so much far superior over the champ, Seth Rollins, and making it seem like, Seth Rollins didn't want anything else to do with the night. Cena had to tell him to, you're gonna wrestle the next match against Sting, and he picks him up, throws him back in the ring. Now, from my position watching this, I only have one word, and that's unnecessary. A lot of that was very, very unnecessary. Watching that match, watching the way Seth Rollins did John Cena at SummerSlam, coming back in all white again tonight, working him again, the double suplex from the top rope into a rolling second suplex. There's no way that you're telling me this guy's scared, this guy ain't capable of wrestling another match or whatever. I don't like the fact that they booked it like that, and I don't like the fact that John Cena went over. There was no reason for that to happen anymore. Yeah. I just Seth Rollins is on another level.
Yeah.
How are you going to keep trying to, on one hand you're telling us he's on another level, but on the other hand you're letting us know that John Cena is still superior. You can't have both.
No.
This man is now the top of your company. He is the face. He is the guy.
He's the measuring stick. He is the franchise.
So we have to treat him as such. You have any comments on the United States contest before we move to the other one?
I got comments. Like you said, that superplex into a rolling suplex off the top ropes.
Top ropes, yeah.
Kept the hold, rolled it into a standing vertical suplex. I haven't seen that shit ever. I have never seen that shit in my lifetime. Seth Rollins was doing things I haven't seen before in wrestling. John Cena, you could tell in the match that Seth Rollins is so far above John Cena. I mean, I had a feeling it was going to happen. They can't keep John Cena down for too long. He lost the match a month ago. Let's go ahead and give it back to him the next month. Man, that's hogwash. Seth Rollins should have walked out of there. Granted, what does Seth Rollins really need with the U.S. title? He accomplished what he needed to accomplish by beating John Cena's ass at SummerSlam and becoming the first ever WWE Heavyweight Champion and WWE United States Champion. But you know what he could have did? He could have put that title up in a tournament and let that go. You know what I mean? He didn't. John didn't need the title anymore. I mean, he's elevated it enough where the U.S. title can stand alone by itself. The Intercontinental title is on its way to being elevated with Kevin Owens as the champion. So it's a good day in the WWE. New Day has the tag team titles. You know, I can't complain too much about it because I know John Cena's going to make it work, but it could have been done differently. He didn't have to do it that way. He didn't have to make him look like he was trying to weasel out of that Sting match. I mean, but Seth Rollins, hey, he's going to get to the world title. Still a hell of a night for the kid. He wrestled damn near an hour, and he got it done.
I mean, I got to be honest with you. I would have liked to have seen him been a double champion a few more months.
Yeah.
I would have liked to have seen him work it, for a couple more months.
I bet you bet your ass Ring of Honor is put Jay Lethal over on Friday. So, bet your ass on that.
So with that being said, that was the first part of the main event. Seth Rollins, the first match he lost, so he had to give up the United States title. John Cena's back in business. So tomorrow night on Raw, I expect nothing short of an open challenge coming. With that being said, now the main event comes in. You know, Rollins is already in the ring. Sting makes his entrance. They start to wrestle. There's a few things that I want to point out in this match. Number one was Sting's hair. You know what? It was filled in quite nicely. It had to be a bit of a Bosley job because Rollins was pulling his hair left and right, and he wasn't. The bald spots didn't show until the very, very end. So I was very impressed with Sting's hair, the color, how full it looked. I mean, it was like early 2000s Sting. That's one. Yeah. Now, they also wrestled one hell of a match. I mean, Seth Rollins again. Seth Rollins still in the ring. Yeah. And I'm gonna tell you, this is how much of a professional Seth Rollins is. When you watch the first match with John Cena and then you turn around and watch the second match with Seth Rollins, he didn't use the same moves in both matches. Only his trademark moves were used twice, the ones that he used to finish people with. Basic wrestling moves, he didn't use the same moves on Sting that he used on Cena. He came out with another set of moves. So you were not going to be bored saying, okay, this guy's wrestling the same match twice. You didn't get that out of this match. And then later on in the match, we had a scary moment with Sting. Two scary moments, to be quite honest. Sting got baptized through a WWE table. That was one. However, before he went crashing through the Spanish announce table, they didn't take the monitors out.
They sure
so
did.
Sting hit the back of his 56-year-old head on that TV. And that could have went bad so many different ways. However, Sting stayed in the match and he persevered, and they went on. And then the second scary moment, which was a part of the ending of the match, when Seth Rollins, muscling Sting up, as he muscled up Cena, giving him that turnbuckle powerbomb, he hit Sting so hard that Sting he went down and it didn't look natural. It didn't look like it was a part of the show. Sting didn't know where he was after that, and stay tuned because we will have follow-up reports on Sting's injury if there is one, but it looked like something was different with Sting after that.
You looked like you needed a baconectomy.
And as a consequence,
he was gasping for air like he fucked up his lung or something. I mean, he just dropped out like a limp, dead, dirty dish rag body in the middle of the ring.
That's right.
I mean, but granted, his 56-year-old body got it done, as long as I can't say for the Undertaker in the month before. But Sting held his own in this match with the young upstart Rollins. But that last powerbomb buckle, that really fucked him up.
And as a consummate professional, Sting got it together, shook off the cobwebs, and he finished the match. It ended in a roll-up. Seth Rollins winning, so he is still the main man in the company. He is still the reigning WWE World Heavyweight Champion. Now, folks, this is where it gets tricky.
Get a start. Let me get one from the crowd real quick. You've been waiting.
I like that King came out.
You're spoiling it.
We're gonna get there. Yes, sir. We're gonna get to that right now.
I got one. Can I answer?
Go ahead.
Okay, thank you. I just wanted to say, Seth Rollins got nothing to be ashamed of. I mean, I hate that John Cena pulled a John Cena and had to go Super Cena and fucking win. That sucks. But he showed up and showed out. And then not only that, when he got to the Sting match, and just like you said very well, that he changed his style. And I mean, Sting, you gotta give hats to Sting.
Yeah.
For him being 56 fucking years old. 56.
Yeah.
He's busting his ass more than the Undertaker did in any of them Brock Lesnar matches.
Yeah, that's true.
And I mean, really. And I mean, it took some freakish power bomb to sit there and fucking get hurt for him to knock him out. And then he still had the wherewithal to fucking come back and still end the match.
And it was a scary moment because
Yeah, it was.
At the time, we didn't know if that was a work. We didn't know if that was real. And
He sucked it up. He might have broke a rib or something.
And I
Ain't
hope
no
not.
telling.
It's possible. So with that being said, now this is where the night gets tricky after that. Seth Rollins picks up the victory. He's now tired. He's gassed out. He's wrestled 2 matches against 2 future Hall of Famers. The music hits. And it's Sheamus.
Fucking
Sheamus comes out. He's got the briefcase. And, you know, he goes in. He bro kicks Rollins. And he's getting ready to cash in. So, you know, everyone's on their feet at this moment. And everyone's thinking he's going to cash in. And then we get the return of Kane. The Kane with the mask and the hair is back.
Mask Kane.
Comes out, choke slams the champion Seth Rollins. At that point, if you're watching this, you're also thinking, okay, Kane has it personal for Seth Rollins, so maybe he might just come out and choke slam him and then leave. Sheamus had to go in there and poke with Kane, so Kane choke slammed him too. So now, this is what I propose to both of you gentlemen right here, right now. We already know Sting is not getting a rematch because Sting is probably going to be in the hospital. So, I think that it's safe to say, nothing away from Sting. Get ready for probably the Royal Rumble next, and then WrestleMania. I don't know if he'll be there for that one.
He'll be out the hospital in time. He need a back.
But just thinking reasonably about it, I'm sure we'll see him in the Royal Rumble, and then we'll probably see him at WrestleMania. But now that we saw what happened here, are we really at liberty to say that it's just going to be Kane versus Seth Rollins, or is it going to be Kane versus Seth Rollins versus Sheamus?
It could be Sheamus in the match, but why put him in there? What it looks like, and this is just my opinion, I could be wrong, but what it looks like is Kane and Undertaker are on their last hurrah trip. Meaning that Undertaker at WrestleMania probably will call it quits, and more than likely Kane's going to call his in-ring performance probably a quits too at WrestleMania because he's wearing the mask again. It would be fitting, because this is Hell in a Cell. It would be fitting. If you're going to have Undertaker, I'm getting too far ahead of myself. I'm not going to release that yet. If you're, just put it this way, if you're going to have Undertaker there, it's best to have Kane there. And what's more fitting to put Kane in the cell, to baptize Seth Rollins in the cell. And let me just bring you back in, folks. We don't need none of this PG shit. We need old school, Hell in a Cell. We need a little blood that night. Because if you're going to shut it down with those two, the Brothers of Destruction, if you're going to shut it down with them in the cell, Seth Rollins should be bleeding that night. Not saying Kane walks out with the title. Seth Rollins got to walk out, but he's got to walk out and hurt him in the cell. That's got to happen, WWE. It's got to happen.
And what Amar is alluding to is also the fact that we were also given our main event for Hell in a Cell. It's going to be a rematch from SummerSlam. It's going to be Undertaker versus Brock Lesnar.
Yeah.
Hell in a Cell. I have been on record before for saying, you know, I'm pro Undertaker, which I still am. But logically speaking, this is just not good. This is not going to be good. I mean, he did fall to his knees and he barely crawled out.
Did you see the tape?
And that was a regular match at SummerSlam. Now you're talking about putting him inside of a cell structure, where the Undertaker, you know, he has good history in there, but it's not going to happen now.
This is a 50-year-old Undertaker. Brock Lesnar's going to kill him.
I don't like it.
What people forget is Brock Lesnar beat the shit out of the Undertaker in the Hell in a Cell 10 years ago.
Oh, yeah.
He beat him from an inch of his life, and he was younger.
And this is when he was the American Badass.
Yes. Undertaker had a crimson mask and everything.
Look.
And Brock Lesnar damn near killed him.
Look.
I don't know. I can't imagine what that match is going to look like. But like you said, Kane's performing, and it's old Kane. He's performing. Undertaker's performing. You know, I mean, right off the top of your head, I mean, wrestling fans, you got to start putting this thing together. Right off the top of your head, you know Kevin Owens is going to go against Ryback in a rematch. Right off the top of your head, you know Nikki Bella is going to challenge Charlotte in her rematch. Right off the top of your head, you know that Dean Ambrose is either going to face Y2J or Y2J is going to face Roman Reigns. Okay, so there's no mystery there as to what's going to happen. The Dudley Boys, to me, do not get a rematch against the New Day. It's going to have to be someone else because they were the challengers.
They made.
But I think they might settle theirs on a Monday Night Raw or something.
It could be the case, man.
Unless, because you want to solve this problem with the third man of Xavier Woods.
Yeah.
If the Dudleys go and they bring back, I don't know if Spike Dudley's still wrestling, but you know, bring back like RVD.
Yeah.
RVD, right?
Yeah.
Get the extreme thing going.
Yeah.
Give them extreme rules, and let's see how the New Day works in that, because that trombone will get used and it won't be from being blown.
Put 3 matches in the cell.
I mean, you got the cell there. I never
cell.
understood why they didn't work the whole show in the cell.
Put 3 matches in the
You
cell.
need to have people that can actually work the cell.
Yeah, put 3 matches in the cell. Put Big E, put Xavier, and put Kofi in the cell. With the Dudley Boys and say RV.
What needs to be said that you're not saying is the Undertaker's on death's door, so to speak. And every time he gets in the ring with Brock Lesnar, he's cutting off days off his life. I mean, every time he get in there, it's like he damn near got to get carted out of the damn arena. It's like, why are you doing this again? The only thing that I took solace in it said the final battle. So I'm like, okay, we're going to have to see this stir-fry shit one more fucking time.
And see, and that's the thing. But look, like what Randy's saying, look, instead of having the EMTs in the back, they need to have the MATs at ringside.
Make it a stretcher match.
Yeah, they need to have them at ringside. Why? Because I don't think Undertaker's getting out of that ring and walking to the back where he can collapse. He's going to collapse right there. It's hell in a cell. It's hell in a cell.
Like I said, I was very optimistic last month, but even I got to say, like, you know, back in the 60s when Walter Cronkite had to admit that we're losing the war in Vietnam and the war is now unbeatable, Brock Lesnar is just unbeatable. And this is not a good time for Undertaker
It's time
fans.
for the dead man to be put out the patch.
It's not a good time for the Undertaker. It's not a good time for his fans. This is not going to be for the faintest of heart, but we will watch it. So with that being said, that was Night of Champions. You know, you should expect a very good show tomorrow on Monday Night Raw with the fallout from everything that we saw. Just briefly before we go, kitchen bitch?
I was going to say, do you have a kitchen bitch? An old school kitchen bitch?
Well, I mean, my kitchen bitch is simple. I just didn't like the way Seth Rollins was booked at the end of the John Cena match. But I expressed it while we were going through it, so I'm okay.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm pretty much, it was the same. I liked the pay-per-view. I actually enjoyed it. We talked before. I was like, hey, the WWE low-key, the pay-per-views don't look like it's going to be much. They surprise us. And they've done it all year. And I just have to say this. My only kitchen bitch is this. To you TNA fanboys that I hear on the internet talking about, oh, you got to give TNA this. They have lasted longer than Turner's WCW. Listen here, Jack. WCW, even though I wasn't a fan of WCW, you know, that much, they had real wrestlers.
We got one fan over there.
I mean, he's a fan. And I didn't know this guy for years, back in the 90s, and he used to swear by WCW, but you see who's on top. I was a WWF fanboy, and WWF clearly won the battle. So kudos, haha. But WCW had legit wrestlers. WCW had the NWO who was kicking Vince McMahon's ass for years. You know what I mean? What has TNA done that's significant? You know what I mean? What have they done to measure up to WCW? Not a goddamn thing. So you can take your moral victory and your hurrah for TNA, roll it up in a nice big sack, take that sack, put it in the refrigerator, and let it marinate for a day. Take it out of the refrigerator, twist it sideways, and stick it straight up your candy ass. And that's what I believe about that.
Now, the one thing I do have to say about that, For TNA fans to say that, don't you just think that sounds a little pathetic?
For real.
I mean, seriously, going after Ted Turner's WCW when you know that.
WCW was a product of the NWA, Jim Crockett. So if you really want to put it all together, it's been there longer.
It's not even that. Now look at
No, you wrestling.
Look at TNA's,
Young boys.
Look at TNA's wrestlers over the times. Half of those WCW wrestlers were on TNA's roster.
Exactly.
I mean, your fucking founder Jeff Jarrett didn't become the chosen one. He didn't even go into that. He didn't even go into that part of his career until he was in WCW.
Getting his ass whooped by Booker T.
Because when he was in WWF,
Wow.
yeah, when he was in WWF, he started off as a country singer, a Ric Flair knockoff. But then when he cut his hair and with that buzz cut and came out with the "Don't Piss Me Off," that's when he was cooking.
Yeah.
You know, and then he had that fallout where he didn't want to drop to China, and he held the WWE up for money or whatever the case may be.
300,000.
Right, but then he went over to WCW and made his bones, became a world champion. That's what put him on the platform, at least enough, in my opinion, to get him to start NWA TNA. And that's another thing too, like Amar said, you really need to know your history. When TNA first started, they were called NWA TNA. They were holding the NWA title.
Yeah.
Where in the fuck do you think that NWA title came from?
Jim Crockett Promotions.
It came from Jim Crockett Promotions, Mid-Atlantic, WCW. Now, I know you want to talk about just the Ted Turner tenure of the WCW, and that's fine, but it just really makes it sound like, as you would say, you're drawing for straws, you look stupid. TNA has never won the war.
Nope.
They've never even come close. And what makes it sad is, like, if Randy was sitting on this table, he would tell you the same thing, that when you had talent, when you had time, when you had the opportunity to put people over,
Fucked it up.
you didn't do it.
Fucked it up
So
big time.
you need to worry about that, and you also need to worry about what the fuck are you gonna watch in January?
Yeah.
Are you gonna go on the road with them? Are you gonna fucking go to their fucking touring dates?
There wasn't nobody at the house show. Austin Collins was looking like, why the fuck am I here?
Bro, we went to
Check
Bound
out
for
Wrestling
Glory.
Hands.
We went to Bound for Glory 2008. It was in a fucking college basketball gym, and only half of that shit had filled seats.
And it was only the lower level ones.
Look.
None of the high level ones.
And that was in
filled.
2008.
We had good seats. Remember, we seen
Shout out
Dixie
to
Carter.
Alfonso and his cousin.
Yeah, we seen Dixie Carter.
We saw
seen
everybody.
Vince Russo walking through there.
Even D'Lo Brown's bum ass was there.
I mean, my thing is this. My thing is this.
You gotta be
And
careful. Like,
you gotta be careful here, TNA
you
fan
can't
guys.
speak on WCW.
You know, my thing is this, man. And no, you guys sound fucking. I mean, I can't say that. I'm just gonna say you must be young, because you guys I remember the glory days with AJ Styles and Samoa Joe. Glory days.
Wait a minute.
AJ
Where the
Styles.
fuck TNA had Glory Days?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. AJ Styles, Samoa Joe is the glory days. Go back to WCW and watch some of those glory day matches. Hey.
It's not even.
Hello.
It's not even.
This is a bad day when we all coming to defend WCW.
It's not even.
That's a bad
It's
day.
not even a competition. I mean,
not.
obviously they're trying to talk about it, you know. And the best example I can use is Sting. I can use Sting and Kurt Angle for this analogy. You are trying to imply that because TNA had a longer tenure than Ted Turner had with WCW,
That it was more successful.
that it was, obviously more successful. But even though Kurt Angle's been in TNA longer than the WWF, what do you think he's going to be known for? His matches at WrestleMania, his legendary feuds and battles with wrestlers over there. No one is going to fucking remember him wrestling against a high-ass Jeff Hardy.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just not going to happen. You know, TNA's crowning moment was when Jeff was too high to wrestle Sting. As soon as they got in the fucking ring, after a 2-month build-up,
Sting had to hurry up and
Sting
death dropped him.
Scorpion Death dropped him,
And
they
that was
called
it.
the match. So the question becomes, why didn't TNA take the WCW route at that time and create a new star on the spot? They had the opportunity to do it. They didn't do it. And who the fuck was driving the fucking van?
That's what I want to know. God,
Samoa Joe got kidnapped and we never fucking found out what happened
drove
with
it.
that shit.
Shit, they drove him all the way to NXT. That's
You
what
had a world class. You had a world class athlete in Billy Gunn over there parking cars. You had Eric Young dressing up in lingerie for 3 years, and now all of a sudden I'm supposed to take him seriously?
He's this badass with a tattoo.
Yeah, my thing is this, man. You know, it's just like you said. You know, it's like for Sting too. What do you think Sting's gonna be known for?
WCW.
Yeah, he's not gonna be known for Scorpion Death dropping Jeff Hardy when he was high. He's gonna be known
For his feuds with Ric Flair.
Yep.
His feuds with the Horsemen.
His feuds with Luger. His
Yep.
feuds in
His fuse with the NWO.
His feud with the NWO.
Or the
against Hogan.
Or the
Because
NWO Red and Black. Wolfpack.
Because remember, that was the transition to him becoming a Crow.
Yeah.
For him going to the old.
Credit Scott Hall for that idea.
Yeah.
For the old Venice Beach painted up Sting
Ah!
with the colored hair.
Yeah.
He just disappeared for like, what was it, like a year?
Here.
Yep.
And he grew his hair out.
Came back with a baseball bat and some black hair
Starcade
dye.
97 took the company's title back. I remember.
So with that being said, Russellheads, you know, stay with us. You know, stay
I
with
would
us.
just do this. These guys played those guys today, and you can see who's happy and who's not. That's all I gotta say. Go Steelers.
See you next week.
So they stomped a mud hole in the 49ers ass.
What you gotta say, Red, for production? Red production. What you gotta say?
Steelers rock.
Yeah.
And 49ers suck. They're not nothing.
God,
stink.
my ass is just...
Ouch.